Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What is one thing that people don't understand about being an MMA fighter that you wish they did?
Uh, it takes a lot to do, like a lot. Like you have to sacrifice quite a lot of things, like what people would consider like normalities. You can't really do them. Like you can't. Let's say you got to fight in like 8 or 9 weeks. You can't have nice food for that amount of time. You can't really go out having fun with your mates, and you're really restricted on things that you can do. So there's that, and also there's a lot of mental challenges that comes with it. Like, here's the reality: not everyone is John Jones. Not everyone's going to turn up to the gym and have a good session every session. You got to battle a lot of demons in your head. Like, you'll have days where you'll come into the gym, you'll spar, you won't have the best day, and you'll be thinking, yeah, this ain't for me or whatever. But you got to fight all that because at the end of the day, like you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. It's quite a lot of stuff. It's a lot harder than what the average person would think. It ain't just getting in a cage and fighting in front of people. There's a lot more to it than that, and that's not even bringing up the weight cutting side of things.
So, talking about those mental challenges, is it a self-worth or like a self-belief challenge? Is that something that you've struggled with, maybe?
I'm just saying in general, like for most people that do when they do this sport, you'll face a lot of challenges. Like for example, like I said before, you go into the gym, you'll have a few sessions, you're doing fantastic, and then you'll have a session, and you know you might get smashed the whole session. Do you know what I mean? You might get submitted. It doesn't fucking matter. It don't matter. Like anything that happens in the gym, on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. And a lot of fighters that I've known over the years let that shit get to them, and for whatever reason, they end up stopping. Um, it, it's not for everyone. You gotta have very thick skin. Do you know what I'm saying? You gotta have very thick skin, and then when it comes to game day, that's when it becomes different. You've done everything you can to prepare. You've had the hardest rounds.
Mm. Yeah. So, talking about that like training thing, it takes a lot to get over that initial thing of not particularly worrying about what happens in the sparring, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
From my experience, like only really recently in the past year, I would say that I've personally stopped caring quite as much about what happens in sparring. Obviously, if every sparring
yeah.
session is being smashed, that's a problem, right?
Mm.
But
Don't, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go on. Sorry.
no, no, go for it.
Um, don't get me wrong, right? If you've got a fight coming up and you're getting submitted in different things like left, right, and centre, obviously there's something wrong. But it, you need it. You need it. You need a balance of rounds where you're the hammer, some rounds where it's a bit 50-50, and you need to be the nail. I go with guys like Paddy Pimblett for fuck's sake, and I'm not going to say I'm the hammer in that. That's all I'll say. But I know doing rounds like that's going to get me a lot further than going to a gym where I'm top dog and I'm just smashing everybody and I'm not even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, that's one of the things about those kind of gyms like Next Gen, which I think is so good, is that in my opinion, and from many other coaches and fighters that I've spoken to, there's this thing of like you need these three training partners. You need
Yeah,
someone who's worse than you, someone who's an equal skill level, and someone who's better.
yeah,
Because if you're in a
100%, 100%.
yeah, if you're in a smaller gym and say you're the best person there,
Yeah,
like it's a bit difficult to.
I I had that for a while. Before I went to Next Gen, I went to a gym previous and a gym previous to that, and my very first gym, was great for the first few years. I was getting hard rounds here and there, but then eventually it would just I had to go to different gyms to get harder training. And Next Gen, what's great about Next Gen is you're not only getting like world class training partners that you can test yourself against, you're also getting a mix, if that makes sense. Like, and another thing that I love about Next Gen, you get people from all over the fucking world coming over to do rounds, because obviously they want to get rounds in with Paddy and Shem and all these, Luke Riley. So I get a chance to test myself against guys, from, America and different places. And it gives me a bit of a reality check of, oh shit, I'm actually pretty good at this. Because I ain't gonna lie, Next Gen's probably, in my eyes, it's the top gym in the UK and Europe, and soon it'll be the world.
Yeah, it's certainly in the past few years it's like I don't know from your perspective of gyms that you've trained at, but in the UK it's definitely I mean, there's no arguments, it's in the top three, right?
Oh, definitely in the top three.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
fucking one, man.
How important is it, do you think, to seek out gyms like that? Do you live in Liverpool or do you have to
Nope, I travel on a train 2 hours every morning. I do have a mate who takes me sometimes, but if I'm left to my own devices, I have to get up really early, get a train from Blackburn, and travel 2 hours to get there. And
you do that every day?
Paul always gives me shit for being late. all the team give me shit for being late, but it's one of them. Like, I'm doing my best to get there at the end of the day. I'm doing my best.
Yeah. And is that 5 days a week that you go there?
Yeah, so I train there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When I'm out of camp, not gonna lie, I don't like getting on that fucking train, so I'm gonna train more local for certain sessions. And something I'm very big on as well is limiting heavy sparring. So when I'm out of camp, I don't spar as much.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, I used to spar all the time, like hard as fuck, all the time, all the time. But now I'm getting older, and now I'm getting a bit more wiser to it. I save them harder rounds for when I'm trying to get in shape in fight camp and that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've been thinking about recently. Is I find myself just getting involved in these heavy spars too often, and I get like headaches, black eyes, and stuff. And I'm trying to limit that because like, I don't care about. I don't want to be a fighter, right? Like I'm very open about that. I don't want to
There
be a.
is there is a buzz to it though. I'm not gonna lie. There is a fucking buzz. I had some nice fucking rounds today. They were a buzz.
I saw on your stories. Was it like five fives you did?
Yeah, I done 5 5s today. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's some hard graft there, but
yeah, and you see the people I'm sparring with too. It's sickening. It's sickening to think.
are all of those rounds like hard rounds as well in terms of like the intensity of them?
Well, it depends. Like, so there's a lad that I sparred with. Won't mention names by the rounds I had with, but there was a lad I did 2 rounds with today who's fighting next week. So the intensity in terms of power and different things, I'm not gonna go for it. I'm not gonna do that dickhead who injures him. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of that was just very fast paced. Do you know what I mean? A lot of volume. Um, it's just sparring really. Like everybody else would go a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Um, But nah, sometimes we go hell for leather. Sometimes we play. Yeah, it's just one of them.
Okay, so how has MMA shifted your perspective on what you are able to do with your life?
Hmm, good question. Repeat that again. Sorry.
Sure, no worries.
That was
How
good. That was a
has
good question. I need to say that again. Actually, say that again.
no problem. How has
That's all.
MMA,
That's the CTE, by the way.
that's all good. I'm used to talking to fighters. It's all good. Um, how has MMA shifted your perspective on what you are able to do with your life?
I don't really give a shit what people think anymore. That's a big one. Um,
How has MMA done that for you then?
it's made me confident in my own skin. Like, I'm confident that I can put myself in situations now and not have any like anxiety or worry about consequence. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I won't take advantage of it if that makes sense. Like, I'm not a bully. I would never bully somebody. Um, but I just feel like I have this confidence now where I can talk to people, um, be myself around people I don't know, stuff like that. It's really helped with my confidence, and I can put myself in a lot of mad scenarios now. Like, for example, this is going to sound crazy. I went to Glasgow a few months back. It was around the beginning of the year to for a Cage Warriors event. I was helping out one of my friends who was fighting, and we were cutting weight. And I did not have any fights coming up at this point, by the way. Like I was a free man. So my mate's cutting weight, and he's going to bed. Like he's pretty much on weight and everything. He's going to bed, and I'm just thinking to myself, I can't stay in this room all quiet. Like my ADHD and autism was just like I'm just just want to fucking do something. So I just think, you know what, fuck it. I don't know anybody. I don't know this place. I want to explore. I literally leave the hotel and just go into Glasgow on my own.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, a lot of people wouldn't do that. Like, they won't go on their own into Glasgow and try and have like a night out of nothing. I did, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Met loads of people, made friends. But and this is the crazy thing, right? Someone who's autistic, technically speaking, shouldn't be able to do that because of the what do you call it? The barriers that it gives you for social situations. Like when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I couldn't look people in the eye, I couldn't talk to them properly. But now, like I said earlier about the confidence, like I could do mad stuff like that.
Mm.
Just went out, met loads of friends, and people I've never even met before in my life. I just, yeah.
Do you think that martial arts, you mentioned with Next Gen, for example, you get people from all over the world coming there, right? And people from
Mm-hmm.
different cultures who live different lives to you, but you sort
Yeah,
of come together and connect through martial arts. Is that something that you think maybe has helped you cope with your struggles in that sense?
1000%, 1000%, I'd say. Um, like, there's no better way to getting to know someone than kicking them, punching them, getting kicked and getting punched by them, getting thrown around, getting strangled. There's no better way to really get to know someone. We have right, like, I could say borderline bullying banter, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. We have like amazing banter at the gym. It's yeah, we all know each other, quite well, and people come in from other places, and we give them the same energy, and yeah, I definitely say it's helped quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that martial arts have given me friends that I don't think I would have been friends with if I hadn't have trained with them because they're just not my typical kind of person.
Same, I've got friends. Won't mention any names. I've got some friends that are coppers. Some friends that were convicted felons and that. Um, some friends that a little bit crazy. Um, some friends that come from like different backgrounds in terms of religions, like loads of different ones. Um, I've got friends from loads of different countries. Like it's crazy, and a lot of these people, if I never did this sport, oh, lawyers, I could name it, doctors, I could name like every walk of life you could think of. I'd never speak to these people in any other like environment, if that makes sense. Like I won't, they won't talk to me they won't talk to me in a pub, for example. None of these people, even after a few bevies, they would not talk to me. But with martial arts, yeah, kind of weird. It's wild.
Yeah, well, it's that. I think it's that sort of joint struggle, isn't it? Like you're trying to scrap each other on the mat, you're trying to strangle each other. For some reason, that brings people together, even though you would almost think the opposite from
Mm.
an outsider's perspective. But
Oh
once,
no, I know it's wild.
yeah, once you've done it, you kind of like get it. You slap hands, bump fists, you try and kill each other for 5 minutes, and then at the end of it, you're like, oh, you're cool. Do you want to go for a beer?
Yeah, the majority of the time you get that, but then you get some bell ends. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, of course,
But it's very rare. It's very rare. Like out of the 20 years of doing martial arts, I'd say I've only had like maybe 5% of the people I've met that are like that, and they don't normally last. To be honest, like they get they get segregated from the gym. Them type of people because it's bad energy. You don't want that.
yeah, yeah, it's uh, in any walk of life, you are going to get those people that don't kind of mesh with the culture or whatever anyway.
Mm.
But I would say that I don't, same thing for me, not that I've trained for as long as you have, but as long as I've been doing it, I've only probably bumped into one or two people like that. And generally they do, as you say,
Yeah.
out of the gym or whatever.
Or they find out it's just not for them. They don't like getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, is it from my experience, those kind of people always end up in, for some reason, every spar is, oh, he was a dick. He was trying to like kill me. It's like, if every spar is going that way, it's probably not always the other person, you know? It's probably you.
I could tell so many stories, but I'm not going to on here.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, let's. I want to move it towards the. I was looking at your Instagram, having a scroll through. One of the things that really stood out to me was your first amateur fight where you broke your
Oh
leg.
Jesus.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Tell me about that. What? How did
Uh,
you come
well,
back from that?
sorry.
How did you come back from something like that?
You got to be a bit fucking nuts. Um, wow. Looking back, me as a kid, what was going through my head? Um, do you know what? I'd say the main thing was I didn't want to be that kid that gave up. I think that was the main one, and also knowing that you only got one shot at life. Um, and I'm going to be honest with you. When it happened, I broke my leg. I was in the hospital. I did want to fight again, like straight away. Like I remember being in the ambulance, high as fuck on whatever they were giving me. And I was saying to my dad, I want to do this again. And my dad's like, "Shut the fuck up! You're gonna do like contact karate after this, or boxing, or something where you're not gonna smash your leg up." And I was just like, "No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it." And in my head, it was just I want to do one fight and win. That was all that it was in my head. Like I had to battle that challenge. Because don't get me wrong, I was terrified. Like I wanted to do it, but I was terrified. Like I was thinking, what if this happens again? What if something worse happens? And what if this isn't for me? But then, like I was saying earlier in the conversation, to go far, you've got to fight these doubts. To go far, you've got to fight the fears of failure, the fears of having setbacks. So yeah, and then I got that first win, and it was like drugs. I was just addicted to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could say from that is like you almost had one of the worst things that you could have happen to you in a cage in your
Literally,
life.
literally.
Can it get worse than that? I mean,
Well, yeah, it can, but no, like from what I've watched in the UFC, that's the worst thing that could happen to you, snapping your leg. From what I've seen in the UFC, I've seen worse things though. I've seen
yeah,
some stuff that'll make people. Oh God.
yeah. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
watching that video, like it, you had the shin guards on as well, right?
No, no, I didn't. Not for that fight. No.
Oh, wasn't it?
Back then, UK MMA was a bit different. It was a bit different. It was like the Wild West back in 2013 and further back. Um, the rule sets back then were well, they still are the same, but some alterations here and there. We had for amateur MC, which is no headshots at all, AMB, or back then it was classed as semi-pro, which is headshot standing but not on the floor. But back then you could wear 4 ounce gloves.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think you were allowed elbows and knees to the head as well. Yeah, and then you had amateur A, which was basically with the amateur gloves, and it was just full MMA without elbows. But you were allowed knees to the head back then.
Okay.
And then with the MC, unlike now, there was no shin guards. It was an optional thing. So you'd see kids fighting up and down the country, like from the ages of like 12 to 15, 16, even some adults would be doing it. They'd be doing no headshot fights, but bare shin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I remember looking at it all as a norm back then, but now I've wizened up to it and I've seen what it is now. Like kids wear shin guards now. You'll never watch a junior fight nowadays where they're not wearing shin guards. They'll always wear shin guards.
Yeah. So how it is now is like amateurs over 16 is without
Yeah,
shame,
yeah.
but under 16 is with. So yeah, I mean that.
It's a lot safer now. It's a lot safer now. Like it's better than what it used to be. And even before my fight, like a few years before that, I've heard some mad stories of UK MMA scene, like even fights being organised on mats, not even in a cage.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and then different rules in different regions and stuff. Yeah, absolutely nuts.
I think the sports definitely came a long way in the past 5 years, but 10 years as well. It's
Oh, mate, in this country in particular, yeah. Like look at the people that are coming up now. I mean, like the UK is slowly becoming a superpower in the mixed martial arts world.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We've got quite a lot of people who are like Harry. Harry got signed to the UFC this
Yeah.
week, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. And yeah, like it's especially with the things like gyms that like Next Gen and then a few other gyms around the country as well. With the things that they're doing, there's definitely a big UK scene sort of. I feel like about to sort of explode.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. So just taking it back to that leg break then. How long did that take you to recover? Because was it 15? You was 15 at the
I
time?
was 15 years old. Yeah,
Yeah. How long did it take you to recover? Was there any complications with, obviously at 15, you're growing quite a lot as well. Was there any complications with
it's a good
that?
question.
Did it
Um,
quickly?
well, here's the thing as well. Looking back, right, I'm gonna sound bad saying this, but looking back, my mum and dad, their main concerns, and everybody's concerns were, well, he's got his GCSEs and everything. Because I was in year 10 when that happened, and yeah, it made things difficult at school. Bullying got worse as well. Like I did it to get the bullies off my back. The bullying got 10 times worse after that. Like everyone was basically just telling me to quit and stuff. Yeah. Um, what else? So in terms of growing complications, I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to say. It might have stunted my growth for all I know. I don't know
Mm.
because I've got a metal rod in my shin, and that's gonna do something, I guess.
Yeah.
But uh, it was a dark time, I tell you that, mate. It was a fucking dark time. I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
It was a fucking horrible time. Like the actual injury was like scary, but it was a year and a half till I next fought. But I did like lighter contact into clubs to build my confidence back up and some grappling competitions. The biggest thing for me was getting over people attacking my leg or obviously throwing kicks again. Like that was the biggest thing for me. But yeah, it was a dark time. Like it was a fucking really dark time. More than anything in here, it was dark, like very dark. I'm actually shocked. I've done everything I've done. To be honest with you, after going through all of
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about it because I think it's like at that age to have something like that happen and then to come back and now be a professional fighter in Cage Warriors. That's quite a I don't know if many 15-year-olds would have done that, right? Most people, rightly so, would have been like, well, I'm not going to do that again.
that. Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't even think I'd get this far. I didn't think I'd even turn pro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at anything else. To be honest, just give this shit a good go.
Very good.
Hopefully Dana signs me in the next few years.
Yeah.
Please, please, Dana, sign me.
Okay, so I don't know if you had a little look at my social media.
Oh, I have. You got some good content. You got
So
some really good content, mate.
I appreciate it, man. One of the main things which I'm sure you have seen then is the red flags in a martial arts gym. What for you is a red flag in a martial arts gym?
Sorry, what's the red flag?
Yeah.
Oh God, there's loads off the top of my head. I'm just trying to think of one specifically. when there's no fighters. So
Expand.
like it's like you could at least have a decent level amateur fighter on the mat. So that's one, and another one is the overall gym's record being losing record.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's those are two big ones. There's loads more I could say, but I don't want to say anything disrespectful because I've got a lot of friends. You know what I mean? I just don't want to say anything that I could get be classed as backlash.
Yeah, I've certainly got a lot of backlash for some of the
Yeah,
things.
you will do, mate. But everything you're saying, trust me. Like I've gone to how many fucking gyms have I been to? I've been to Blackburn Predators. Um, been to Apex. I've been to Manchester Predators. I've been to Manchester Top Team. I've been to AVT Leeds. I have been to. I don't think it's a gym anymore, but it was called Falinkazan in Bradford, and obviously Next Generation. Was it? I can't remember what it was called, but there was even a gym I went to in Bahrain. I can't remember what it was called though.
Good.
And God, there's loads. I've been to loads of gyms, like, and I've seen a lot of stuff like over the years, and I've seen the recipe for gyms going far, and I've seen recipe for gyms stagnating or just and yeah, a lot of what you say is extremely accurate.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
So,
One thing I will disagree with though is the coach participating.
mm,
That's one. That's only one I'll like really disagree with because some coaches have just got a good mind for it.
mm.
If that makes sense. Some coaches might not have fought before. They might just be a proper nerd about it. Do you know what I mean? I know plenty of coaches that never had a fight before, and there's some pretty sick coaches.
Yeah, yeah. So like with that one in particular, I I think it's hard to get across necessarily what I mean in a little clip that will do well, if that makes sense.
Mm,
So in obviously there's exceptions. If your coach is 75 and like
yeah,
I
fair enough.
obviously, right? You know what I mean? But I more mean they don't even have to be doing full MMA sparring, but just being able to show some level of competency against some resistance is what I mean.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I
Because
agree with that. I
I've
agree with that.
I've trained, and I don't give a fuck because this
Yeah,
person.
I agree with that.
But
There's somebody I'm thinking of now that's yeah, someone's just come to my mind that I've been to a boxing gym before. But anyways, I'm not going to say anything.
and you get those guys who
Yeah,
stand there.
you get some bullshitters. You do get some bullshitters.
Yeah,
I've come across a few
yeah, but I have got a lot of backlash about that one in particular, which I do get.
from bullshitters as well. So don't get me wrong though, you're going to get it off some legit people as well because they'll be thinking, well, my coach doesn't spar and he's amazing, but
Yeah,
he probably is. You've just mixed things up a little bit.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So expand a little bit on what you mean by the having a lack of fighters. Obviously, like I get what you're meaning, but just expand on that for people who are listening and maybe don't understand why that's a bad sign for you.
So if you go to a gym, so the reason why I started at my original gym, Blackburn Predators, was because there was a route to get to amateur fights, if that makes sense. It was a clear route. I seen lads, and it helps for advertisement as well. Not gonna lie, if you have a gym that has fighters, that helps for advertisement. Um, if you're at a gym and nobody's competing, it probably means the coach is scared of your gym getting exposed. Okay, or the coach might not have the right contacts to get you certain opportunities. There's quite a few different things that it could be, but it's a big red flag for me. Like if I want to be a world class fighter, you know, I'm not even that. Like if I want to be fighting in a fucking sports hall for my amateur debut at least, I've got to go to a gym where I'm confident they're going to get me a fight. And yeah, some gyms, another ones. Some coaches fall out with a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that happens, between different gyms, and you might end up no promoter wants to have your lads on. You never know. Like there's loads of different things that could be a factor. But yeah, that is a big red flag because what's the point of training if you're never going to compete and you won't know legitimacy of what you're learning as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, I mean the competition is kind of like the ultimate test of your skills, right?
Yeah,
So
does it work? Unless you end up in an altercation outside, I'm not saying you do that. Obviously, sometimes you have to, but yeah, the main way you figure it out, the ultimate way you figure it out is against another trained person in a controlled environment for
yeah.
real.
What is the biggest mistake you see beginners make with their approach to the sport in general and their training?
Hmm. Not training enough. Like some some of the gyms that there's a gym I coach at in Worley, and I think a lot of lads they've got to understand the difference between wanting to do this as a hobby and wanting to do this as a competitor. Um, See, a lot of lads, what they'll do is they'll train maybe 2 or 3 times a week. That's a hobbyist.
Mm.
That's not a competitor. And then they'll be wondering why the coach isn't getting them fights, and they'll be wondering why they're always gassing in training. They'll always wonder why people are getting better and they're not. Um, it, like I said earlier in our conversation, you've got to make a fuckload of sacrifices. Like, oh, but I do this night. Yeah, well, if you want to do this, you got to fuck that off. Um, oh, but I'm going to a wedding or I'm going to this, I'm doing that or whatever. It's like, no, just if you want to be a fighter, you got to be all in. Right, that's a big one. And discipline. And just know that it's going to be hard. And knowing that it's going to be hard, that means you got to train hard. All right, I'm probably going to end up ranting because there's some people in my students that I'm ranting at every fucking week. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's I think that's how I knew I didn't want to be an actual fighter. And
But
I'm
you've accepted it.
yeah.
You've accepted it. That's the thing. A lot of these lads haven't, and they tell all their mates different things, and it's just like, lad, either fucking all in or hobbyist,
Yeah.
and just accept it.
Yeah. And it's like I want to be one of the best coaches in the world, right? That's what I want to do. So I'll sit at home and I'll watch fights and I'll
Yeah,
sit break stuff down and I still train 5 days a
yeah,
week.
yeah. And you could be a fantastic coach doing that. I know plenty of coaches that never went through a big competitive route, but they still trained loads. They still did this. They still did that. That's appropriate. That is appropriate.
But I think there's that difference like being a fighter, it isn't just the training either. It's are you doing the S&C, you know? And that's another thing where it's like you want to be a fighter, but you
Well,
you gas out after 30 seconds and you're not doing anything about it.
well, I trained this morning. I went to Liverpool, come back. Guess what I'm doing after this interview?
S&C.
More training, just
Yeah.
more training. It's a fucking job. That's the thing that people don't understand. It's a fucking job. You've got to be on it all the time, like all the time. Obviously, you can have a rest day here and there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the case of right. I've done my training. Oh, that's me done for the day. No, you're not fucking done for the day. You got to diet. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do your recovery. You got to run. Like people ask me like for different things. It's like I haven't got any fucking time, especially if I've got a fight coming up. Especially.
Yeah. Yeah, like so I do you know a gym called BST?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's plenty of top level guys from there. Vishenik,
Yeah. Yeah.
Vishenik. Could probably name a few others. I can't think off the top of my head, but Vishenik's the one that comes at the top of my head.
Yeah, so they've got Jordan Vucenic, Tariq Pell.
Oh,
Uh,
he's good. He's pretty good.
yeah. And then they get loads of people like traveling down. Like Modetus Bukauskas trains there every
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's a bit of a hub. Like people go there. I started going up there 3, 4 months ago. It's about 2 hours for me, so
Mm.
it's a bit of a journey. And as I said, I don't want to be a fighter, right? So I'm not going up there all of the time.
No.
But I go up there because it's an unreal experience, and the head coach is just phenomenal. But anyway, aside of all of that, like being up there and being surrounded by people like Jordan, like Tariq, and all, like even the amateurs they've got there,
Yeah.
the level of intensity and focus they have when they're training, and the other thing is like they're all absolutely jacked.
Yeah.
Everyone's in shape, and you're like that doesn't come easy. Like
No.
one of the things that I was thinking about with that is like your body when you're a professional fighter, your body is the thing that's gonna either help you win or be the reason
Would.
why you lose, right? So
Yeah.
if you're not looking after that vehicle, like that's a big part of it. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, it's massive. Like, obviously, I'm known for enjoying myself out of fight camps a little bit. So what you've just said is, it's solid. It's solid because I go back into a camp or I go back into training after my little break, and I'm gassing. I'm gassing because the nature of the sport is there's always a guy that's doing more.
Mm.
So you've just got to do fucking more than that guy. Don't get me wrong, like I'm gonna get back in shape like very soon. I'm grafting my ass off to get back in shape. But for a lot of these young lads though, like that's another reality. Like it's not just martial arts. You got to be a freak athlete now, especially nowadays. Back in the day, you could get away with just being a technician. Back in the day,
Mm.
so a lot of lads, they'd have this crazy triangle, or they'd heel hook people, or they'd have like one punch KO power or whatever. Um, but now you got to have literally everything, and you got to be a full time athlete. And mate, some of the athletes that we have at ours, like Adam Cullen in particular, is a freak athlete. Like he's very very strong, very explosive. Luke's very strong, very explosive. Shem, Paddy, all these lads, they're all fucking freak athletes. They're
Yeah,
not just martial artists.
yeah,
That
that's
is solid.
yeah, that like I say, that was just sort of an observation of being in a gym like BST. I was like, everyone here is just fucking jacked, and
Even kids, mate. Like there's a obviously there's a good kids team that we have at Next Gen, and after one of the sparring sessions, a few of the kids like were doing like fucking acrobatic stuff, like handsprings and shit, fucking flips, and I'm just sat there looking at it all, and then one of the lads is like, "You're gonna give that a go?" And like, "I'll break my fucking neck." And all these kids, when they have the tops off, they're ripped to shit, like they're jacked, and it's just like, wow. When I was their age, I just eat pizza every night. When I was their age, I had high metabolism, but I couldn't do any of the things that these kids could do. Do you know what I mean? I was a martial artist. I could kick high. I could do jiu-jitsu very well. Could do all the techniques, but in terms of like the athleticism, it's a different breed now, and it's going to get harder and harder and harder as the years go on. I believe that right now we're at a real point, like a really high level point in MMA where athletes are like at their top level in our sport, and it's just gonna get scarier and scarier, to be honest. Like I think it's gonna get harder and harder and harder, especially with the amount of people that are doing the sport now.
yeah, I feel like there's definitely pros to that in terms of it makes the sport more reputable, and
No, no, there's loads. I'm not saying, but there's loads of pros to it. Like what I'm worried about is when, because I'm going to be done by the time it gets to this point. That eventually we're going to get to a point where everyone's that good and that athletic. Fights are going to get very, very boring.
this is where I was taking that point, and I feel like it's starting to get to that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Fights are going to get very boring because when people are all round perfect and when people are all round physically perfect, that's when stalemates happen.
Mm.
And it's getting more and more competitive as well. Like money's going to start increasing in the next few years as well. I believe. I believe the sport is going to have a lot of opportunities in the next few years, especially for us in the UK. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the deal that the UFC have just signed, like that's a big indicator of that, right?
Mm.
They're, yeah, but I mean, I was literally sitting down yesterday watching Bilal versus I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, JDM. Um,
Yeah,
and as much as it was a good fight and like very technical, it was boring.
yeah.
And it's one of those ones where it's like if you think
Well, it
about
depends. Well, it depends. Like, it depends on how you look at it. Someone that's got like a good insight into what's going on, it's exciting. Do you know what I mean? But then you got to think about the casual fan.
yeah, so
That's what the promoter and the fights need to be steering towards is the casual fan.
yeah, but
It's a difficult one though for MMA though.
I feel like it's the same in any sport though. It's kind of getting similar in football. I don't know if you watch football. Like
I
I,
hate football. Don't get me started with football. I hate football. I
yeah,
can't watch it. I can't watch it unless England are playing. I get a bit of a buzz off it. I'll have a few drinks, but uh, nah. But I see. But yeah, I know what you mean though. Football. Anytime I watch it, that's exactly the point. It's like that. It's like a stalemate.
yeah.
They're
It's like
like
very
0-0 the whole freaking 90 minutes, and then it goes to the end where they're shooting in the net. Yeah, it's the same thing.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's park that bit of a conversation there. I want to move it towards. I won't take too much longer of your time, by the way. So, uh,
No, you can take it. You can take as much as you want, mate. I've got fuck all to do. Oh wait a minute. Oh no, I'm doing something, aren't I? It's all right. It's later on.
cool, cool. Um, how do you handle nerves before a fight?
Oh, some advice I'm going to give to all the young up and comers listening. It it never goes away.
Mm.
It fucking never goes away. However, you get better at dealing with it. A lot of it's just steering away from negative thoughts. Steer away from negative thoughts. Listen to your coaches and breathe is the main thing. Breathe and visualization is key. Positive visualization is key, and just being ready. And it's always knowing. Like I've done that many of them now. I know exactly what to expect, but them nerves are still there. When I go in there, I'm almost definitely coming out of there. The worst things happen to me, to be honest, just like you said before. You know, so what if, something bad happens again? Whatever. I've probably gone through the worst, you know what I mean? And another thing I will say, a lot of these people that do this, they do it because they want to do it. And they've got to remember that when they get to the fight day. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm here because I chose to be here. I'm here to win. I'm here to dominate. Those are the key things I think about when I'm walking. And then when the music hits, I'm in Disneyland.
I assume you know who Jocko is, Jocko Willnick,
Oh yeah, yeah. He does a lot of talks and that, doesn't he? Navy SEAL,
something like that.
former
Yeah,
Navy SEAL or something. Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt as well, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah, hard
uh,
bastard.
yeah. I was listening to him talk about like I don't know if it was a tip that he gave fighters or whatever, but like it was just sort of like a mental framework, which was essentially you can start asking yourself. This is not how he said it, by the way. I'm
Yeah, 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 yeah.
absolutely
That's all right.
butchering
Go on.
the framework of what he was saying is essentially you can start asking yourself like questions of, oh,
Yeah,
how's this going to go? Am I going to, I hope this goes well, Or you can take the mindset of, I'm going to get you.
yeah.
And
That's what I'm trying to get at. Those are the kind of things I tell myself. Like, I'm not thinking about what could happen. I'm thinking about what I fucking want to happen and what's going to happen.
Mm,
That's the mindset I get into.
yeah,
Because you have to. If you don't get into that mindset, you're gonna freeze. You're just gonna fucking freeze. And I know people that have done it and they froze and they've got knocked out, or they've just not pulled the trigger and they've lost a decision, or they've had their back took and been submitted because they just weren't present. If that makes sense, you got to be present.
Are you talking about like whilst you're in the fight, like trying to
Yeah,
be?
yeah, in the fight, yeah,
Yeah.
before and during the fight, because whatever happens in the locker room, you tend to take that into the fight. That energy does go into the fight, so you've got to have the right headspace going in.
Yeah, and how important would you say the coaching team and the people who are cornering you on the day, like how important would you say their roles are in that as well?
The people I have in particular are fantastic. Um, I mean, as you have you seen for the results of our gym, they are world class at what they do. Um, it's so important. Like you need to have good people around you in these sort of moments. Like a lot of fights that you go into, especially for me now fighting on Cage Warriors, like every fight I do now can be life changing. Like if I win, I'm one step closer to getting signed to the UFC. If I lose, then you know I've got to take fucking 4 more steps or 5 more steps or something like that. So there's a lot of pressure going into these. You know what I mean? Plus everyone's watching you. Everyone's watching you. There's a lot of pressure. So you need people around you. They're going to put you in that headspace. That are going to tell you the right cues. You need reminding of your game plan. Like there's fights I've done in the past where I've not had the right people there and I've done mad stuff, or I've not listened to them and I've done mad stuff.
Mm.
But if you have the right people and they give you the right things, the right cues, then you, you're gonna have a good day. I tell you that. You're gonna have a really good day.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's kind of how anyone who knows me personally knows how the whole red flags thing started, but essentially being involved in a gym that was just a little bit lackadaisical
Mm,
about how they were approaching their their fighters and how they were handling
yeah,
their fighters, and it really reflected in the results, you know.
it
Like,
always does, mate. It always does.
yeah. And then going to different gyms, like going to BST and speaking to fighters and coaches on the podcast, it's so much more than like a coach's role is so much more than just here's how you do a jab cross, here's how you do a double leg. You
A
know, it's
lot
like
more to it than that. My coaches are almost like how do I call it? They're almost like my therapist, my in some ways my carer in some ways, especially with my autism. um the father figure. I've got a dad, you know what I mean? But Paul's a bit of a father figure to me as well. Um Mentor, of course. And just that voice. You need that voice, if that makes sense. You need that strategy. You need that path. And they give you that. They give you that. And another thing that I like about my coach Paul is if I don't turn up to the gym, he's gonna message me. He's gonna message me and he's gonna give me shit for it.
mm,
You know what I mean? If I turn up late, he's gonna give me shit for it. And I know why he does it. It's because he cares and he wants me to progress. But then, like you were saying before, you'll get some coaches, they will not give a fuck. Some of these coaches might even turn up to the gym fucking stoned or something. Do you know what I mean? And they haven't got a plan. They just make it up as they go along. One of the fighters or one of the students might be going through something, you know, at home,
mm.
and that's a big one. That is a very big one because life, like a lot of these coaches forget that these people have lives. Like I've been through a lot of shit. Like not just my leg break, but fucking I've gone through some fucking shit. Like especially during 2020, I was going through some bad depression, and I'm just thankful that I had a good circle of people around me during that time because I know for a fact if I was at another place, who knows, I might not be here, mate. You know, it sounds dark that, but
No, but it's a very good point to make because ultimately, if you send someone in to a competition when they're not ready for any reason, it could be physical, mental, well-being situations, whatever, and it doesn't go well, that can make it worse for them, right?
Of
So
course.
it's an important role that you're playing to make sure that they are mentally capable and
Mm.
physically capable of doing what you're going to send them in there to do.
Yeah, mate, it's a big one. Like, especially at the level I'm at now. Like, if you've got like something up here and you go in and you're not ready and you lose, uh, it's dark, mate. It's dark. A lot of people don't understand. You get a lot of fucking dickheads online giving a lot of these fighters shit and saying horrible things, and you know, try living in our shoes, mate.
Yeah.
Try living in our shoes. Try and go through a quarter, not even a quarter. Try and go through 2% of what fighters go through. You know, it's 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 not an easy world. It really isn't. You know, in the cage and out.
Yeah, like the whole social media thing, as I'm experiencing, I'm not even a fighter, right? But I post social like martial arts stuff
Dark.
on social media, and the shit I get, I'm like, well, I've started. I was listening to Chris Williamson. He was like, post and ghost, like post and just fucking ignore what people.
I I'm just starting to get to that point now where it is what it is.
Hmm.
Like, and it's good for the algorithm. So like, I'll have somebody talking shit a few years back. I just delete the comment and block them. But now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. It's funny,
Yeah,
especially when they're a fucking idiot. It's really funny. I just let them keep going. Um, it is what it is. You're gonna have people that love you and people that hate you. You know what I mean? Just live your life in it. And if you're doing this life where you want to be, an influential person, you want to be a famous person, you want to have fucking 100K fucking followers, you're going to be on TV one day, all these different things. One, you got to have thick skin, and two, you've not really got to care. You got to like not take yourself seriously. Like I'm trying my best not to take myself seriously anymore. You know what I mean? Because God forbid, I could go into my next fight and lose. You know what I mean? I could get knocked out cold, could break my arm, my leg, anything could happen. Uh, I can't let that stop me though. If that happens, you know what I mean? I've just got to laugh it off and just go again. Um, if I win, fantastic. Don't let it get to me too much. But yeah, that's just it.
yeah. I think that's kind of the thing with martial arts as well. It's so humbling, isn't it? Because like I made a fucking video about it the other day about like skinny guys, in jits. They're just always on my back. Like I can't stop them getting on my back.
When I was a kid, I was that kid. I was that skinny kid.
Yeah, but it's like it's so humbling because it's just like this small guy who's just like, I should be beating you,
Oh, the worst feeling in the world.
whatever that means in training, and then you just get fucking strangled, and like, you know. But it's so humbling because it's like you don't expect that to happen, right? You think of yourself as a certain way, and then you get humbled by this dude who shouldn't be humbling you. It kind of doesn't really matter that someone on social media says that you're a bit of a knobhead because, well, they've seen a 10-second clip and they automatically think you're a knobhead, or they take the piss out of you for losing a fight, but they haven't even ever stepped on a mat, let alone in the cage, you know?
And the other thing is they don't know you. That's the other thing. Like, if they knew me, they'd probably go out for a drink with me. You know what I mean? If they knew me, they'd probably want to train with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just don't let it get to you, innit? Fucking hell. And plus, like I said, it's funny. I
Yeah.
just find it funny. Like I get them, and I'm thinking, wow, you took time out of your day to do that.
Yeah.
Wow, that must be very important in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally had it earlier. Someone was mad at me for reposting a video, and they were like, "Oh, well, you're responsible for making me feel better about my gym not having these red flags, so you should be making new red flag videos." I was like, "What? Like, how
To be
am I?"
honest with you, you're doing a good service to any of these gyms making these mistakes. To be honest, because you're saying all these things. It's like, I'm doing that. I mean, I need to stop doing that. Maybe I need to work on some stuff, or just give you shit for it. For actually pointing it out. It's like when you've got a problem. It's like, you you got a problem. Like you keep saying these things, or you keep going out drinking, whatever. It's like you've got a problem. There's two ways they can come back at you with it. It's either solve the problem or say fuck you for bringing up the problem.
But this is what like Danny from BST, the head coach there, he every time I see him, he just like tells me how much he loves the videos that I make. But because he's saying what you're saying is like they're only getting mad because it's true, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of them things,
Yeah,
But
it only hurts when it's true. That's why I don't take any notice because they don't know. None of them know.
yeah,
Like, oh, you fought this bum or whatever. Like, first off, like, don't get me wrong, I have fought in my earlier pro career. I had to fight fucking Reece Street. Do you know what I mean?
right.
But I had no choice. Do you know what I mean? But everybody gives me shit for that. It's like you fought Reece Street, like,
I don't
and
know who that guy is.
fucking you what?
Reece Street.
You know, fuck off. You've not heard of Reece Street.
No,
You've not heard of Reece Street. Wow,
Reece Street.
Reece Street is he's a journeyman.
Right.
He's got fucking. He went a bit viral about a year ago, and I don't think he's had a fight since, to be honest, because he's kind of been exposed as a journeyman. But he's got like an 0 and 40 something losing record in pro MMA.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, so
But here's the
he
thing,
paid.
everyone's fought him though. Like I'm not the only one that's fought him. Like loads of pros have fought him. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get to that point where it's like, well, you haven't got a match. But that's what I was saying earlier about MMA being like the Wild West.
Hmm.
You don't get journeymen like that anymore.
Was he just like getting paid to take falls or
I don't know. I
yeah.
think some fights maybe, some fights no, because he has actually knocked some guys out as well.
Hmm.
And I've seen it with my own eyes. I actually saw him win a pro fight, but they never put it on Tapology.
Oh,
Yeah, that happens. The community's a bit dodgy like that. But nowadays, you don't get guys like that fighting because
hmm.
Tapology flag them straight away.
Yeah, I'll say
But
something to you after the
yeah,
show. I don't want to say it on
you
on.
are.
I'll say something to you afterwards because
Oh, this will be interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, like some people give me shit about that, but it don't bother me because I had no choice.
yeah,
Number one, number two, it was my first pro fight, and it was ages ago. I fight good people now. I don't give a fuck.
yeah. I mean, you don't win on Cage Warriors, and yeah,
Exactly. That's why it don't bother me. Exactly my point.
yeah. You got
Like
kind of
that
prove.
last guy I fought, from Brazil, he won a fucking title in Brazil before I fucking battered him.
Yeah, it's kind of the ultimate proving ground for the UK, really, isn't it? Even in Europe.
Yeah. Like, so it's a bit of a world stage because everyone in the world knows what Cage Warriors is. Like people in America know what Cage Warriors is. People in Australia do.
Yeah,
It's a big thing.
100%. Is there anything that you want to promote before we
Oh,
end?
uh, make sure you all buy this. There's the camera. Here we go. Buy some of that.
Okay.
Pure Legit UK. 15% off when you use my code CrazyChris15. Okay, so that's the first one. And I've got low. Can I tag sponsors in this at all?
Yeah, if you send me some links, I'll put them in the
All
description.
right, sound. I've got loads more people I want to thank. God, off the top of my head, I'm not gonna do it. Like these guys, I need to do something for these guys, so I've done that. Got a load of other people. Somebody I haven't given much of a shout out to though, which I need to do more of. Two people. Lloyd's Auto Locks. Okay, big shout out to them guys. They do good services for cars and that in Blackburn. And Hume Fencing Lancashire. Okay, Chris, you're a fucking legend. Chris Hume, you are a fucking legend. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, I've got a load more, but I'm just gonna leave it at them because those ones I've not really said much. Okay, I'll just leave it at them.
Okay.
The
Cool.
rest I'll just put down a list.
Great. Chris, thank you for coming on.
Pleasure.